I can't do that.
That little boy's a stupid period. Don't let him do that to you. You know what to do?
I can't do that.
Look at it.
No, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look
You
at
know
it.
what to do.
I don't want to look at it.
That little boy's mean. You have them stupid.
He's mean. He's mean.
Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Ding back here, also known as Philly 500. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Thank you for joining. This channel, I will give you my opinion, as whacked as it may be, as much as you may disagree. But I will always tell you what I think from the heart, and I will always put it out there. Now, you may agree, you may disagree. If you disagree, I respect your opinion just as much as I respect my own, because my opinion is no better than anybody else's. I'm just a dingbat. So I want to talk a little about the Eagles and this trade deadline situation and give you some of my final thoughts on the Eagles versus the 49ers. Now, let's start with the game. The game was a football game. The San Francisco 49ers, a winless professional football team, traveled to Philly. They gave all that they had, and it wasn't good enough as the Eagles beat the 49ers. And for us Eagle fans, it was the first game in a couple weeks where it wasn't prime time. It wasn't big things at stake. It kind of was a quiet Sunday on a bed, weather day football game. And I think that you saw the intensity of the fans, of the team, just the entire week leading up to that game kind of be a little bit of a, a little bit down, a little bit of the air, came out of the balloon. What are you going to do? But, it's one of those things. When you play a team that's winless, that happens. Now, I thought the Eagles, especially early on, the offensive line was horrendous. I didn't like the offensive line across the board. This is a big area concern of mine, and this is something we'll talk about a little bit later in this video. I thought Wentz took a lot of shots. I think he missed a lot of throws, and I think those shots he took, especially early, had an impact on his accuracy and his performance. But even still, the one thing that I really took out that I liked from Wentz and what he did was that when he did throw the interception, and maybe 49ers had like this much of a room to try to do something, he went down, he found Alshon, and they scored. They answered the bell, they answered the turnover with a touchdown. That's what I expect from elite franchise quarterbacks. That's what you see from guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and those kind of guys. That's what you would expect from Carson Wentz if you think he's as good as I do. The hell is that? Anyways, so Carson answered the bell. Alshon had the touchdown. I love to see Alshon get involved. And the Eagles, they beat the 49ers. And the defense, I thought, was spectacular. For the most part, I got no complaints. Losing Jordan Hicks definitely hurts the Eagles on defense, but guess what? Michael Kendricks stepped up and played great, and I think he's been playing really good all year. He may even make a Pro Bowl, or at least is having a Pro Bowl type year. Whether he gets that recognition, we don't know. I think Nigel Bradham is definitely a Pro Bowler, and I thought Malcolm Jenkins is a Pro Bowler, and he was once again everywhere. The Green Goblin, Jalen Mills, stepped up a pick 6. It was a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. Woo, look at me move. I got move. Sorry, I'm just a little bit dingbatish today. Now, we got big games coming in the future, right? We got a lot of big situations. We're sitting here and we're actually in a situation where we could be a #1 seed in the conference. I keep saying this, #1 seed in the conference. And at 7-1, the Eagles have to look at how they can make this team better for the second half of the season and for a playoff run. So what do you got to do to get better? right? What do you got to do? You're not the Dallas Cowboys. You're not going to have your Dallas Cowboys sign their life away to the devil, right? Signing their souls to the devil for some success. I mean, I don't know what the devil's offering nowadays. Maybe 30-year, 10-year, 15-year contracts. I believe that's what they've said. I don't know where he's at, but we don't want that. We care about our players' souls. So we can't do that. So obviously, the way to do it is to make a trade before the trade deadline. Now, what kind of trade can the Eagles make? We've talked a lot about getting an offensive tackle. This will be my first priority. Get an offensive tackle like a Joe Staley. You know, somebody like that. You got Duane Brown in Houston. You got Glenn up in Buffalo. Somebody like that. Now, Glenn, I think, is going to be very expensive, okay? So I wouldn't give a first-round pickup for him. I really wouldn't. But I think you have to try to get somebody. Now, Joe Staley, I don't know the situation with his eye. If it's not like some orbital broken bone or broken bro, you know, if he doesn't have a broken bone in his eye or something like that, and he's going to play this year, I would try to make a trade for him. Here's how I feel. You have two eyes. If one is bad, you have one good, one left. If Pirates can go and navigate the ocean in the world with one eye, then he should be able to block the man in front of him. Very simple. So I would offer something for him. Now, if I can't get a starting tackle or anything like that, then definitely try to add some depth to that line, you know, that kind of thing, because you definitely need more depth. But the trade that really is on my mind right now, okay, you know how I feel about the tackle. That's my first priority. So before I start this, I want to say that's my first priority. But something intrigues me a lot. And it came to my attention last night. And it's not the Calvin Johnson trade. As far as I am concerned about the Calvin Johnson trade, I think there's a lot of nonsense to it. I think it's just a lot of rumors. And I think the chances that he would come to Philly is slim to none. But if he did come to Philly, I would have one requirement for him. He has to guarantee he'll play next year. If he does that, then I would do it. Because otherwise, if he's just coming in for the second half of the season, he may not even be full go, full Megatron until the playoffs. We may never get there because he hasn't played in so long. So that one, I don't think it's really going to happen. But there's one that I heard about that may. One that could actually take place. And this one, I'm a big fan of this move. I would like to see this move. And that is the Philadelphia Eagles make a trade for T.Y. Hilton. The rumors are, there's been reports that the Eagles are very interested in T.Y. Hilton, and I would pursue it and try to get that done. Because let's face it, Torrey Smith to me is too old. I didn't like the signing when they did it. I liked Torrey Smith as a man and as a person. But as a player, I thought he didn't play good and he looked old for 3 or 4 years. He's been beaten down and he's older and he plays older than his age. And I don't think he has anything left. But if you add a T.Y. Hilton with Alshon Jeffrey, are you kidding me? A guy that can give you the speed he has on every play. Oh, with Alshon, that would drive teams nuts. That would create so much for the Eagles. And then you still have Nelson Aguilar and his speed in the slot. And then you have Ertz. The Eagles would be dynamic. They would be all over the place. Watch out. They would be tough. Now, they got to block Wentz, right? They got to block him or it ain't going to matter who he's throwing to. I get that. But if you're not going to go out and get Staley or Brown or Glenn or any of these offensive tackles anyways, then you're stuck with what you got. So you still might as well get T.Y. Hilton. So I want to say, I want T.Y. Hilton. We got 24 hours to the deadline. I heard that this is a possibility. I am all in favor of adding T.Y. Hilton to the Philadelphia Eagles. I hope it happens. I'm praying, I'm hoping, but that's what I would do. Imagine that This team, with him and Alshon and Aguilar and Ertz, it's pretty scary, man. That's pretty scary for defenses. Now, maybe you can get Hilton and still find a way to upgrade that line, even if it's just from a depth perspective. But I want to see that happen. I want to see the Eagles do that. So this is where my head is the next 24 hours. The deadline's coming up. I think it's important that the Eagles, in all seriousness, go out and get themselves better. Because you're 7-1, wide open NFC, anything can happen. You have to take a chance when that happens. And let me tell you something, okay? You may not always be 7-1, 8-1 every year. Even if you have Tom Brady, it doesn't always happen. So for the Eagles to have it possibly happen this year, you got to invest some of your future assets for now. You just do. You don't have to do everything, but just some of them. So let's see what happens over the next 24 hours. These are my final thoughts on the game and the trade deadline coming and what I would do. With that said, take care, talk to you later, and don't be a dingbat.